Have you ever felt like you need to specialize in something to be valued? Society pushes us to be specialists, to choose a career and delve as deeply as possible into it. But what if I told you that the greatest innovators in history were not specialists? And what's more, that the fact that no one knows who you are can be your greatest advantage in exploring and mastering various areas. Today, we're going to talk about how anonymity gives you the freedom to test, make mistakes, and learn, and why generalists end up beating specialists in the game of life. Throughout history, there has always been an obsession with specialization. In the 20th century, companies looked for specialists to solve specific problems. However, the 21st century has changed the game. The speed of change and the fusion of areas of knowledge have made generalists more valuable than ever. One example of this is Leonardo da Vinci, who was not only a painter, but also an engineer, anatomist, and inventor. Another modern example is Elon Musk, who navigates between aerospace engineering, artificial intelligence, and finance. But what if I told you that you can become a generalist without fear of making mistakes, precisely because no one knows who you are? Many great innovators began their journey in anonymity. They used this to their advantage to experiment without the weight of expectations. Da Vinci started out as an apprentice and tried his hand at various areas before making a name for himself. Musk started out programming video games and then moved into fintech before moving into the automotive and aerospace sectors. Even Steve Jobs navigated between design, technology, and business to create something unique. What do these stories show? That diversity of experience leads to innovation, and that initial anonymity was a gift, not a problem. The problem with over-specialization: specialists run the risk of becoming obsolete when their field changes. Generalists are more adaptable because they connect diverse knowledge. The power of learning without pressure. When no one knows you, your mistakes have no social consequences. You can experiment and fail without fear of judgment. The world rewards problem solvers. People who can solve complex problems often have a broad repertoire. High achievers don't stick to a single specialization. What can you do to use your anonymity to become a valuable generalist? Try different areas without fear. No one is watching you, so explore. Develop complementary skills: programming plus psychology, art plus technology. The best opportunities are at the intersections. Think like a problem solver, not a job title. But being a generalist doesn't mean being superficial. There's a balance between exploring and going deeper. If you just jump from one interest to another without developing useful skills, you become an unproductive, curious person. The key is to build a solid foundation and then expand. While specialists focus on a single problem, generalists see patterns and create innovative solutions. The world has changed. Today, the ability to connect knowledge is more valuable than mastering a single field. If you feel like you haven't found your specialty yet, this can be an advantage. You're free to explore, experiment, and discover without pressure. The moral of the story: don't be in a rush to be recognized. Use anonymity to your advantage to learn as much as possible. Many of history's greatest innovators started out anonymously. They didn't have an obvious path, and it was precisely this freedom that allowed them to create something unique. Today, this strategy is just as relevant as ever. So instead of worrying about being a specialist now, focus on expanding your skills. Now tell me in the comments, do you consider yourself more of a specialist or a generalist? And what new skill would you like to explore?